Good morning, guys. Logan, good morning, buddy. Lovely day in the UK. I'm glad to hear that. Unfortunately, it's rainy and dreary in central Pennsylvania. Milas, good morning, buddy. Hopefully everybody had a great night. And I'm hoping we don't have any technical delays, not today. But Logan, I got your question, buddy. And I'm sorry I couldn't respond to it. We got so many things I need to do in the morning with my kids. But I figured it'd be a great time to answer that question on this live stream. And when I get a little time, I'll go ahead and type out a thorough answer for you so that everybody else is able to see it. So we got two people on here. In regards to out, if anybody's actually watching this live stream after the broadcast, then they'll be able to listen to it. So Logan's one question was, let's say there's someone with a buy order of 4,000 Ether, and they get bought out very quickly. Does this mean it's bullish or bearish? Also, if there is a sell order for 4,000 and they get bought out very quickly, does this mean bullish or bearish? That is Logan's question. So it all depends, Logan. It all depends on at what price is it being executed at. So the person that's buying 4,000 Ether, if they have an order to buy it lower than the current price, and somebody comes in and sells them the 4,000 Ether lower than the actual price of what it is, at that moment, it's bearish. We will see a red candle. And vice versa too. So if somebody is, same thing, if they're selling 4,000 Ether and somebody, basically comes in and they don't want to buy it at 4,000, they want to buy it lower, it's not going to get executed unless they can meet in the middle somehow, some way. Somebody has to budge. Either the seller has to budge or the buyer has to budge. But yeah, it all depends. If somebody comes in and puts in that market order at a cheaper price than the actual price, we'll see a red candle. And then more likely what's going to happen is, if anybody has any stop losses put in and it causes a nice red candle, it's going to knock out those stop losses and cause a further decline. But currently, as of right now, I'm sure you guys are aware that GDAX does not have limit orders. I'm sorry. They do not allow stop sell or stop buy. That's been completely taken off as of yesterday when they add the margin, and they did add margin to GDAX. Does that make sense, Logan? And so that's why it's always good, to see, for you to look at the trade history, the buy order, the sell order, and try to determine at what price is this being executed at. These orders that are going through, at what price are they being executed at? And the candle also, will kind of follow that. Welcome to whoever just joined. Don't be shy. Introduce yourself if you're new. Say what's up. So you're taking me shopping with you, Logan. That's awesome. What are you buying me? Hopefully something good. And it's awesome that you're taking the wife out shopping. That is awesome. I think I need to do that to my wife, make her happy. Whatever I want. Sweet. I need a whole new computer system. I need top of the line. But yeah, welcome to who else is joining. Please, introduce yourself, say what's up. Don't be shy. It's a great community we got here. It's a great family. We're very interactive. We like to help each other out as best as we can. If I can't answer the questions for you, there's somebody on the chat that's very knowledgeable that can answer those questions. So don't be shy. And possibly a special shout out to Michael Bear, if you're listening at work, and Scotty M, my tech. Much love for you guys. Milaz, I'm sorry to hear that, buddy. I don't know if that's a joke or not. Logan, I'm hoping that's a joke too. So what's going on today? What is going on in the cryptocurrency world? Not much of a movement at all. There are some news that's happening out of China. Dash, with the Dash credit card. So it's a lot of good things that are happening. And if you guys have any great news to share, there's an idea that I have, because I want us to be very interactive. I want us to share information that a lot of us might not get. So, if you guys can, what I'd like for you guys to do is, if you hear of anything, any news that you're reading, once this video gets posted, leave it in the comment section, so that if I'm I'll be able to get the message and I'll be able to respond to it. And then if anybody else wants to chime in and add stuff to it, they can add to it. That'll kind of be like our chat away from this live stream, live chat. So it's a great way for us to share information that a lot of us might not be able to see right away. We're all looking at different things. So if we can share that information with each other, I think that'd be great. And then if we can just share it under one comment, so that everybody will get some sort of notification indicating, so-and-so has responded to your comment. Patrick, morning, buddy. Welcome. What do you guys think about that idea? So we got 6 people, and 3 are chatting away, which is great. We got 9 people. Nice, I like this. But yeah, whoever's joining, please, don't be shy. Say what's up, introduce yourself. Let's get this community to be something really great. Thank you, Milaz. I appreciate that. I think it's a cool idea too. Because I might not be at my computer, I might be out with the kids, we all have a life to live. But I think that's the best way of communicating with each other. So did anybody trade anything yesterday? Anybody find a good entry on any cryptocurrency? That entry under 41 would have been great, but I was expecting it to drop a little further. I tried to catch the bottom, the bare bottom, but I got to stop trying to do that. Because it went up to 43.60 today. So, 41, 40.90 would have been a great entry. It's always good to multitask, Milaz. Always good. But, today, really, there's not much moving. Not much at all. Everything is just kind of stagnant. Ethereum, that's mainly what we're trading today. It's been pretty stagnant. Hit 42, low today, and then 43.60 was a high. So, it's trading within that range of 42 to 43.60. I definitely want to see some up and down swings for me to find a good entry. Monero still holding strong at 22.90, it looks like. And I'm looking at CryptoWatch. So CryptoWatch, for Monero, it's basically based out of Kraken. And Ethereum, the 4327 is based out of Bitfinex, but Coinbase has it at 4340. So it's 20 cents below its high from what I saw. And it did dip to close to 40, I think 42.90 it dipped to just recently after it dipped to 42 and then kind of made a nice bounce. ZCASH, it's 72.50 just about. Rep has actually made a nice comeback. I mean, a couple of days ago it was in the $9 range, 9.50. It dropped to under 7, maybe 6.50. I think it dropped to. Now it's 8.85 based on Kraken price. Let's get to the chart and see if we can get. Need to find a good entry today. And I am trading on margin. I don't recommend it, but I got to try to get back some. But yeah, the range is not looking too good. 320 base long candle here. If I can get my mouse to work. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I got to go to the 5-minute chart. I'm sorry, 15-minute chart. So it's based off this dip after it came down to 41 yesterday. It went up to about 43, 41. I mean, it hovered somewhere in the 3, and then it came down to the 42.05. That's where I'm hoping that I can get a nice drop to that 42.05 and hopefully try to, depending on what the chart is telling me, the buy order, the sell order, the trade history, the depth chart. But if it's not telling me anything good, 43.65 would be my exit on that. So I am leveraging 100% of the buying power that I have on hopes of catching at 42 and then selling at 43.50, 43.60, 65. We'll see. But if it has a really good upward momentum, I'll hold it. But 45, I'll be selling. It's having a hard time breaking out above the 45. So that would kind of indicate to me, it's trying to find its price. Currently, it's trying to find its price. And in the last couple of days, really that price has been, between 41 and 45. So its actual price, then, if we divide that by 2, 50, the price that it's trying to find and level out at. So we're not going to have crazy up and down swings today to really, get $5, $7 per coin return. But I'm assuming since nobody responded to the question that nobody's taken a position. Or if you guys have a position, let me know. You don't have to say how many Ether, but what was your entry? And what is your plan of execution on getting out? It's always good to know those things, especially once you're in a trade. Have a plan of execution. It's not good to buy and then hope. So let's talk about some of the possible news that's out there today, or at least from the 19th on. Let's take a look. And I'm just going to read off some of the headlines. I'm not really going to go into details because then I'd have to sit there and read the whole article and not pay attention to what's going on the chart. Of course, the hard fork talk is huge. And I'm sure you guys know about that. Chinese Bitcoin exchanges suspected of violating laws. So that's going to be pretty big, depending on what the PBOC wants to do about that. There's definitely going to be a lot of regulation in China that's going to be happening. I don't think they can call themselves exchanges anymore. I think they have to label it something different. Because to be an exchange, they have to be licensed. Some of them are licensed to be an exchange. IRS lawsuit is claiming that basically less than probably 1,000 people have been each year. So the IRS will be cracking down. They want to get paid. Uncle Sam wants his money. It's not a free world we live in. 18 Bitcoin exchanges right now for the Bitcoin split. So we'll see, what kind of issues that's going to cause on getting those things implemented. And also in the sense of Ethereum, because that's what we're trading, and I think this is pretty big news. You guys heard me talk about Silk Road, but there is another website, and it's basically it's a dark net market. It's called Alpha Bay. I'm sure you guys are all. But they're going to start accepting Ethereum, so that's pretty big. I don't know how that's going to work out, to be honest with you, considering they want something with a lot more privacy, but they will be accepting Ethereum. Also, Purse.io. It's an online website where you can kind of shop Bitcoin, Monero, Ethereum. So they just added Monero to it. Before it was just Bitcoin, and Ethereum is added to that. So a lot of things happening, a lot of things. And like I said, if you guys find something interesting, very good, definitely share it in the comment section of the video when it gets posted, so that we're all able to read it and be well informed. BTC 1100 is that where we're at now? Let's take a look. And if you see something that's moving, if you see something that's dropping, on Poloniex, especially because that's really where there's a lot of the altcoins, let me know. Because we could definitely find a nice good entry if something drops heavily, to be able to catch a nice bounce up. And also, if something is taken off, let me know. I'll look at it and we'll try to find a nice dip to get into it and make a little bit of money. So let's all share ideas, especially because especially if I'm looking at GDAX and I'm watching Ethereum like a hawk, and you guys are on Poloniex, you see something dropping heavily, shoot it in the comment. And if you have to, put the same comment or in the chat 2-3 times, so it catches my eyes, definitely do it. I'll switch over to Poloniex and try to find us a great entry where we can all make money. This is a time for us to make money, so that later on, we don't have to work and be a slave in the system. We can be independent. Yeah, Milaz, I think you're right, man. Getting ready to hit 1100. 8 p.m. last night was that, so that's a very, very bullish trend. Let's take a look at the 1 hour chart on GDAX for BTC. Yeah, it's a nice trend. That is a nice trend. And I know the video keeps cutting in and out. So levels to watch out for in the sense of Bitcoin. Watch out for that 925. Let's see, how about 919? So 20. We should definitely be paying attention to it because we got traders that might be nervous, which could cause a nice crash to easily. I think it could crash to 900. I'm sorry, to 800, and that would be a good entry. To buy 1.5 Bitcoins. If this can get up to 12 and then level out, it'll be basically forming the, the cup and handle. True cup and handle. Once it kind of hits, let's just say 1275, 1280. If it dips just a little handle, it has to come down from hitting a second high. So I would say 1275, 1280. At that point, if it starts to dip down a little bit, we'll pay attention to it because then it could get a nice violent uptick. But that all depends on news as well too. So it has to be a true cup and handle to see an uptick. So if it hits that 1275 and then kind of levels out a little bit and then goes up, that's not really a true cup and handle formation. All right, so Ethereum. Let's get out of this 6-hour chart. And I do have the 1-minute chart on Crypto Watch on the right-hand side. That's the 15-minute chart. 1-minute chart is good when you're actually in a trade and you're looking. You guys are being quiet today. And if there's anyone new on here, welcome. Got some chat. Yeah, we'd be more than willing to help you guys out as best as we can. So, of course, the big news, the other day was bots over. And I think, to be honest with you, I think it's a beta test. They are starting to infect Gemini now. So there was a lot of similar orders for Ethers, a half Bitcoins, a half a Bitcoin. And I did read a long time ago, and I got to find the article, but MIT trading bot for cryptocurrency, and they wanted to test it out on Gemini. Was, but if that's the case, then Wall Street and big time investors, that have the money, will be using these bots to generate tons of wealth. So we're going to be seeing, possibly some violent up and down swings, and those are the volatilities we're looking for. If it dips down violently, it's a great entry for long and within range on a day-to-day basis. So take a look at that. And as long as my computer cooperates with me. A nice little wall at 43.31. It's nothing. It's not much at all. And my order book is acting up. Yeah, 43.31, 756 Ether. That's in the order book to be bought. On the sell side, though, it's not looking too good. So, I mean, we can get a nice dip here. I don't know if we'll get a dip to that 42.05 that I'm looking for. Maybe 1,200, a little less than 1,200. So we'll see. And the spread is 4 cents, even though it's not telling me on this chart, just basically 43.40 is the ask, is the bid. 46.37. I'm sorry, I said 46. The spread of 3 cents, not much. I want to see a wider spread, because then if somebody hits that market sell order and the spread is pretty far apart, it's going to cause a drop as the highest buy price, but it's going to be lower than the actual price. Audio's 100%. That's great. So, today might be a boring day, to be honest with you guys. Especially if it stays within that range, 42 to 43.60. We need a breakout. It's got to start forming a new trend. I don't think Chrome is working well working well for me. Firefox. So basically, I'm looking to buy a little over 218 at 42.05, and then I'm looking to sell the 100 at 45.25 for a $25 profit on that one, which is horrendous. So what I'm hoping is, that it dips to the 42.05. I add on to it. I add basically, twice the amount, which should lower my average down to about maybe 43, and then 45 or a little under 45, unless I can see a breakout, which is not 100%. But if I can spot it, then I'll have to do a limit order. And Logan, I think he asked me the other day, well, how do we know, when to get out trailing stops? Unfortunately, so let's just say I get into this and it starts hitting 45. I'm going to get ready with an order, a limit order, to sell everything. And as it starts going up, I'm going to change the price as it keeps going up and keep changing it and changing it and changing it. So I'm physically going to be trailing it myself. And if I see it dipping below, what I'm trailing it by, I'm going to hit that sell order. So let's just say hypothetically, it gets to 45, or 40, put my sell at 40, and it goes up to 46, I'll put my sell order at 45.50. And if it keeps going up, I'll keep moving my order up and up. And if it dips violently, I'm just going to hit submit right away. Even if it goes below, but you got to be careful though. You got to make sure that you're not going to be selling when it's actually at a higher price. Because you want to sell at the highest price that you can. But let's just say it's 46 and you have your limit at 45.50, and the price dips to 45, 45.20, and then it goes up a little bit more to 45.60. You don't want to sell at that 45. Basically, you're going to be bringing the price down a little bit because you're selling before you're selling at below the actual price that it's at. So you kind of have to be quick. You kind of have to look at a lot of things, but I think that's the way I'm going to play this. If I do end up getting an entry, then I'm going to just trail it myself. But if I stop at 45.50 and it drops to 45.25, I might hit sell. So then my sell order will be, but the price is actually 45.25, and then we might just get a little uptick to where it'll execute my price. But then it could keep going up. But so that's a risk you take. But at least you're going to be trying to get out before a very large candle forms, because when a large candle forms, next candle is going to be a nice little uptick. It'll be a major uptick, but it'll be a nice uptick if the trend is going to continue going down. So at the next candle should, and that's always should, that's the magic word, not always, should give you a nice little uptick. And then after that, if it's a trend, it'll continue to downtrend. Vince, welcome, welcome. Vince, Monero looks like it's on a downtrend, just a little bit. It's not much from when we talked yesterday. I think yesterday was at 23.50. I could be wrong. You were looking at the price more than I was, but currently at around 22 US dollars, 0.02056 BTC pair on Poloniex. So definitely pay attention to that, especially under 0.02. ETC still holding pretty well. I like that 194. It was great at 130 when I saw it a couple days ago. Litecoin, same thing. We had that dip that I wasn't even paying attention to it. It dipped to 369, so that would have been a good entry. Currently 414, and that price is based on BTCE, the exchange BTCE. Yes, Logan, I'm exactly doing what you just said. I'm basically creating my own trailing stop. But when I'm doing that, I mean, I'm looking at the chart, I'm looking at the order book, I'm looking at, what price are things being executed, I'm looking at the candle, and I got my finger on the trigger, I'm changing the price. So you got to be careful though when you're doing this, that when you're changing the price, you don't accidentally change the price to something low. Because I mean, if let's just say hypothetically, oh man, this could be bad. I don't recommend it, guys. I really don't, unless you're very, very, very careful. You got to be careful. If I'm trailing this thing, let's just say by $1 or 50 cents, and I'm looking at the chart, I'm looking at the depth chart, I'm looking at the order book, I'm looking at things that are being executed, I'm looking at the candlestick, I'm also going to change the price, and I change the price to, let's just say $30 accidentally, and I hit submit, that could be bad news. So there's risk to doing it this way. There is big risk, but it's a risk that I'm willing to take because I'm very, very, very careful. So, I mean, I could easily make a mistake. We're human beings. We can all make mistakes, but that is not a mistake that you want to make, because then it's like I sold way below what I bought. And I mean, and if you do that, you're going to see a candle just drop. So, I mean, you'll end up selling to, the highest buyer is what you're going to do. But there could be different buyers at different price points. So you're not going to actually sell it at 30, but you're going to be selling at different price points. Now, if I have 100 Ether and there's a 100 Ether buyer, it's going to go to him or her or them. But if there's different price points and they're spread out, because the spread is pretty big, then I'm going to be executing those at different price points, and I'm going to be like, get it sold it higher. And that's it for market order, not for limit, by the way. If that makes sense, guys. It also works on limit too, to be honest with you. I just kind of, because you're putting in a lower sell limit order. All right, let's see what she does. I mean, this thing is just kind of stuck in limbo, you know, between, I'm going to say 7 a.m. 7 a.m. we had a nice dip, but then buyers bought it right back up, you know, and that's why it turned green. And there's just a long wick here. Now, if buyers didn't support this, you know, the whole candle would be red, so there'd be a full red body. So right now we just got a small green body at the top, but just a longer wick. So the difference between, you know, this candle, the price point was basically low of 42.88, high of 43.41. So at that price point, I mean, it was dropping, maybe rising a little bit, dropping, rising a little bit, dropped, and then just kept on rising. I wasn't at my computer to see that at 7 a.m. Logan, don't jinx me. Knock on wood. It seems like, you know, as the day goes on, the connection gets bad and bad because of, you know, the 45,000 students that are here and just hogging up the bandwidth. And also, if you guys want, you know, I kind of had an idea. You know, the ones that are on here on a daily basis, you know, if you guys want to do a question and answer type of live stream, we could do that. But I definitely want that to be private. I don't want that to be uploaded to YouTube. So if you guys send me your email address, email me to, you know, CryptoTrader247@gmail.com. I could do a private live stream, and you know, and I'll be able to just add you to that private live stream, and then we can basically just talk about anything and everything. You guys can ask me any questions you want. I'll try to answer them as best as I can. But you know, if we're gonna have, you know, personal conversations, things like that, you know, I don't want somebody just hopping on, because this is public, so anybody can hop on and listen exactly what we're saying. So if you guys want to do that, you know, I don't mind at all. I think that'd be great. It was great yesterday that we had it. I did make that video. Basically, I unlisted that video on YouTube, so it's not on there. But it was good to kind of keep my mind, you know, away from, you know, looking at these order books and having numbers just kind of rambling through my head. Kind of gave me a chance to kind of relax just a little bit and not be looking at numbers and chasing numbers. But it was good that we had that, you know, nice conversation. So, I mean, we're getting a nice little uptick, but it's got to break out above the 4360 in order for this to be a good bullish pattern. I mean, it's still bullish because it's, you know, it's way off its low, but it's stuck in this range. And when something gets stuck in that range for too long, you know, anybody that's holding ether might be impatient, and they might just say, you know what, I'm just going to get out. I'll do the market sell, or I'll just sell this current price. And if there's too many sellers, you know, it could cause it to come down. So 4360 is kind of the level, you know, to see if it's going to break that, or if it's just going to basically kind of hover right in that range. You know, when it dipped over here after hitting that 4360, It started dipping. It hit 43.03, and that was between 8:20, 8:25. I was basically, getting my daughter ready, getting her dressed, putting her shoes on to take her to daycare or preschool. And I was like, oh, I got that order in 42.05. I'm like, it might execute by the time I get back. And I didn't take my cell phone with me, so I couldn't even look at the price point. And it went up, but I was hoping for a nice dip to that 42 bucks, because I would have just let that execute. Dylan, good morning, buddy. Good morning. Logan, email address, CryptoTrader. I'll type in the chat, 7@gmail.com. Yes, I have a margin trade in. It has not executed, but I am going to be using margin because I didn't really make. I made 25 bucks yesterday. And that high entry that that I was put into place kind of hurt me. If I wasn't in Ether at that moment and I had the full amount sitting in cash, in USD, I would have executed at 41. I would have let it execute. But considering I was trying to lower my cost average, I changed it because you guys know I had that buy order at 41.02. And when I started dipping, I was like, I can see 42 happening, $40 happening. So I put it in for $40.02. So looking for that dip, 42.05 is what I'm looking at. Now it could hit 42.05 and dip further, but I think there's that really nice support at 41, because it dipped below 41, but it came right back up above it. So 41 has a good support because it hit that low of $40.89. So if I did let that execute yesterday at 41, I would be basically breaking even level right now. I'd be breaking even from the order that my daughter got me into. Yes, Dylan, margin for right now, they're free for right now, but and they're gonna raise it though, as long as it's not over. Because I pay about 7.35%, interest on the margin for trading stocks. I don't really trade too much on margin on stocks, but I'm gonna take advantage of this if we get nice swings. The other day, when it was, getting to, 31, that would have been a great time to use margin. If we get to 31 again, I'm going all in. I'll throw my kids at it. I'll throw everything at it. But yeah, no interest on margin. I was like, that's great, as long as the trade doesn't go against you. Now remember, that trade goes against you, GDAX, Coinbase will liquidate your account, and they don't have to warn you at all. The system will automatically do it. So you don't want to be caught in that position. But you can't hold a margin position for more than 28 days. So that's basically when it expires. But 28 days of no interest on margin, man, if we're on an uptrend, you get it really low at 30, and then, it starts making its way back up to where it came from. But I wouldn't hold, let's just say we get a nice price movement. I wouldn't hold past 55, not at all. I would be taking the money and running, because it came down heavily, from 57 down to, 31. $30.70, I think the low was. That's a nice drop. So that would have been a good short. That would have been a very good short. Yeah, Dylan. I mean, I think Bitcoin, Ethereum, just the cryptocurrency market. It's big talk now. It's big talk with Wall Street. It's big talk with people that have tons of money. That are investors in the stock market. I mean, a whole new market has just been created for them. A whole new market. So this is huge trade stocks anymore. They got something else to try to manipulate and grow their wealth beyond, what we can imagine. They're going to be greedy. That's the way I see it. Bill, welcome, buddy. Hopefully you had a great night. You didn't short or go all in on margin, did you? Well, dude, thanks for logging on, man, and hopping on. 5 minutes before you got to go to work. That's sweet, man. That shows your dedication. I appreciate that. Seriously. And Bill, since you're just hopping on, I kind of recommended something earlier where, yesterday we had a really nice conversation, question and answer, just nothing that was, cryptocurrency related. I mean, it still can be. But what I would like to do is do a private live stream, which is the regulars that are always on here, have a question and answer, have a conversation with each other. You guys can ask me anything you want to ask me, but I don't want to have one on a live public stream. So, I can definitely create a private live stream and then, add your email to the invite. So my email's in the chat, CryptoTrader247. Email me, and tell me your YouTube name so I know, who to put the name side by side with. And then if we all decide on a certain time to do a question and answer on a private live stream, we can definitely do that. All right, audio check. Audio check. Out of Safari and sound screens with you on screen. If you guys even heard that. Come on, YouTube. All right, reboot time.